If a child doesn't want to have a nap, are they guilty of resisting arrest? Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Today we've got 5v5 coming up. We're going to talk about the best defensive teams. And guys, just a heads up, I am very tired. So if I ramble or don't make sense, I suppose you're used to it by now. But let's dive in to first, I suppose, telling you guys that there's an offensive teams video as well, released at the exact same time as this. You can find the link to that in the video description, or you can find it in the end of the video. You can click on the link. It's linked directly. So huge shout out to my patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support, guys. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if you want to support this channel for free, folks, all you gotta do is hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment. Let's mount that algorithm, shall we, folks? If you wouldn't mind, very kindly mount thy algorithm. Let's get to it here, folks. That's not the right button. There we go. Oh, these are offensive teams. Whoa, spoilers much? All right, folks. A lot of teams on defense here, and okay, so you're gonna have to make a choice at the very start. And huge shout out to Tom Ford, who is he's the source of much knowledge in this game. And I always talk about 40k teams. Gosh, that's the other channel I have, guys. That's why I'm so tired, actually. But I always talk about Galaxy of Heroes Team 4 GAC right before I make this video, and he's the source of a lot of inspiration for these teams. So, anyways, the big thing you have to look out for and decide in your own head and your heart, trust your heart, where is Ezra Exile going to be? Because if he's on a Rey team, he can be super duper obnoxious. But if he is on an Ahsoka team, he can be super duper obnoxious. Both teams are most likely countered by Leia, but you want to force people to use Leia on one of those teams. That's what you want to do. And it's possible that Leia loses to one of those teams anyways. You want to force them to use Leia and not use a lesser team for it. So you're going to have to choose. I decided to choose Rey in this case, but that's kind of the big decision you have to make here. And then the rest of our defenses are kind of just going to fall into place based off of that. Like, tons of teams on defense here, though, folks. Jabba has a ton of counters, but none of them are like 100%, really. Like, people could use troopers, but it doesn't look like it's going to be 100%. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, I think troopers could be pretty solid against him, but you know, you can use the Mob Enforcer Kron. Yeah, I can't, because she's only Relic 4, apparently. I need to get her a Relic level, but yeah, should we just upgrade her real quick? You guys can't see what the heck I'm doing, can you? Here, let's do it. On stream, leveling up Mob Enforcer. I'm crazy. You like me, but I'm crazy. All right, folks. Let's get back to it. So, Jabba team on defense, because what is he doing on offense? He can kill some stuff. Like, the biggest questions right now are, who can kill Supreme Leader Kylo, which Jabba can't? Who can kill Rey with Ezra? Jabba almost certainly can't. And who can kill Ahsoka with or without Ezra? And then Jabba can't. So Jabba's on defense, and if someone wants to use something really strong against him, he'll lose. And if they want to use something kind of weak against him, then maybe he'll win, and it'll be great. And you can thank your lucky stars that you have a Relic 5 Mob Enforcer. Honestly, if you don't want to do Mob Enforcer thing, you can just use an Embo Kron. I think Embo Kron is also pretty decent. Okay, so Supreme Leader Kylo, I guess you could keep him for offense if you really wanted to. I think one of the choices that you also could make is, if you want to put him on defense, you could, because you start with pre-taunt anyways, don't get me wrong, Kylo Ren Unmasked is twice the man, maybe even thrice the man the First Order Stormtrooper is. However, he is also very welcome on a Seer Maliko's team. In fact, you really want that pre-taunt and using him for his Ufu tag as well. And First Order Stormtrooper probably slots in here pretty decently, so keep that in mind if you're looking for some kind of tweaks to this. I don't think he probably does counter some really strong things. I think he also presents a pretty unique challenge on defense right now, because people are gonna don't make no doubt there's going to be things that counter this team. However, Jedi Master Luke, no one really knows how that interaction goes, really. Not that well, at least, right now, because Pointy Teeth Rey is just so new to the meta. And so putting him on defense just causes issues. Jedi Master Luke is hopefully going to be a consistent counter, but we don't know that for sure. And we don't know how to do that for sure, at the very least. So I think on defense for now, I tend to go pretty hard on defense, though. So Rey, this is one of the better versions of this team. Just couple Jedi with Ezra and Kenobi, because then you can't be crit. Cal Kestis, use a Cal Kestis con with the level 6 that lets you start your turn and dispel debuffs, because the teams that try to counter this squad are going to try to put like shock on you and try to make it so that you can't hold buffs. And it would be nice to just dispel those automatically pretty consistently. So Rey team on defense, you don't have to use Ezra here. I think this team is going to be the most obnoxious team in all the land, however, and so I guess I'm just going with that. And meanwhile, you can mess with your opponent's head and put Wat on the team with Ahsoka. Now, I don't know if you want to use Baze. You could use Barriss here. Actually, you could even use Malak if you wanted to, and the reason for that is, right now there's a Troopers team with Magma Trooper that can cheese their way through this and beat this squad pretty easily. And, this is the non-Ezra version of this team. But if you have something that kind of just gains reactive turn meter compared to what they're doing, like Baze can just kind of shut them down. Or so can Barriss, because she's going to also be gaining turn meter. Or if you use Malak, he's going to stop them from being able to gain a ton of turn meter, because, well, they'll gain it, they'll just be feared quite a bit because of what they're trying to do. So Wat is also going to force Ahsoka to taunt. So maybe you want Barriss here, so that's probably my number one choice. I have Baze here. Well, we'll see. Baze is also not doing anything for me this season, really, other than this. So we'll just have to see, folks. It'll be great how well we will see. Now, what the heck to do with Lord Vader? Just put him at the very end of your Traya team, guys, and put him on defense. It's fairly obnoxious. People hate it when you do that. You get a ton of holds. It's science, guys. Kenobi, you can keep him for offense or not, honestly. He just doesn't have a clearly defined role right now. I mean, he's still strong-ish, but a ton of things can counter him. So, I mean, if your opponent is using Inquisition all the time on other Kenobis, if you check that sort of thing, maybe just keep him for offense, or just put him on defense and let your opponent get a decent score on you. I don't care. He's just kind of like a whatever guy. Like he could go either way. Baylan on defense. So I didn't actually put the team comp down, guys. I mean, this is an okay comp, honestly. Like they got a couple good taunts, and Hondo is going to take first turn a lot of times just because of his Omicron, and of course they have a pretty decent Datacron set right now. So this team could be decent on defense, but if you have the Hunter bespoke Datacron right now and you put Hunter on this team, then you probably almost certainly want to leave it on defense, because it is so obnoxious and it gives Hunter a ton of speed. So he's outspeeding Galactic Legends that try to counter you. and then calls a mass assist right away, so it just deletes someone. It's really strong on defense. So Hunter, if you have the Hunter Cron, definitely put it on defense with Baylan. Of course, if you have the Baylan squad. So Queen Amidala, people have been using her to counter like Jabba teams, and you know, she could probably kill some Leia teams. She does a decent job. However, with the advent of all these new datacrons that are out for level 6s, like the Hutt cartel one, I think it's a little bit scarier to keep her to counter Jabba, frankly. And so I would just put her on defense again, folks, because I mean, I guess your opponent can potentially use General Skywalker with Captain Rex, but that's not 100%. You'll probably get 1 or 2 holds over the course of a season, putting her on defense and people trying to use Captain Rex and not knowing what the heck to do. I do believe that this is the best version of the team with Shaak Ti and Echo, both, because Shaak Ti is actively handing a turn to Echo immediately, who's able to get all those debuffs out, and it's just a mess for your opponents, hopefully. So the Qui-Gon team, I do like Barriss on this team, actually. She does some decent work, and it just makes it so that Qui-Gon doesn't die quite as early, because she keeps him alive. And I think Kelleran Beck does that too, if I remember correctly. So this could be a pretty obnoxious team. You could throw Mace on here instead. I don't care, guys. Do what you want with Qui-Gon. You'll get 1 or 2 holds in a season with him, or less. I almost said that like it was impressive or something. So the Finn Zori team, this is pretty standard. It can do some stuff on offense, but we don't have a ton of teams on defense available for defense that aren't just Galactic Legend level things. And this team does present problems for people, especially if they're using Jedi Master Luke to counter like Jedi Master Kenobi. Then a lot of times like a Revan team does a good job of taking this one out. And so yeah, you can end up just getting like stumped. There's a few teams that beat it, but it is strong, and there is at least 1 smuggler on this team, so you can use that smuggler cron to good effect. I like putting the Great Mothers on defense because I'm crazy. People use Great Mothers on offense quite a bit. I just they're just good on defense too, folks. They're, you know, and if you need solid teams for defense, this is definitely one of them. Okay, this one's a little confused. I'm not sure. So if you watch the offensive teams video, you'll know that we have a team with Dash and Beskar Mando, and that they're all doing stuff. Poor old Vander Chewie got kind of left in the lurch. Ooh, so excuse me, folks. I'm sorry. I told you I was tired. It's been a very long weekend. So Skiff Guard Lando is also getting kicked off of his team, at least temporarily, on the Hutt Cartel squad, so he can pass turns and stuff. It's up to you, folks. Do you want to put Enfys Nest with her Datacron level 9 on this team, or do you want to use the Kira level 9, both of which are pretty fantastic? Young Lando does not really need to have all that fancy stuff. I do have a Relic 8 for some reason, though. That's a long story. People who have been watching this channel for a while know the answer to why I do that. Okay, so if we're putting Traya with Lord Vader initially, you don't necessarily need Maul for that squad, but you don't really need Maul for anything else. You could keep him for offense on a Seer team. That's fine and pretty good, honestly. If you don't want to do that, you could put Maul and his Merry Band on defense as well. Not that they're going to get a ton of holds, but this team also has a few counters that are shared with other things here, and it can make it so that your opponents have to choose some very difficult things if they want to live. First time I've really put this team down for defense, just because if you can't consistently counter Rey teams, folks, this team's stock just kind of, I wouldn't say plummets, but it does diminish a little bit, right? You can put it on defense, and it's gonna get holds just because people don't know what the heck to do with against it sometimes, or they use too much stuff, or they overestimate their effectiveness on whatever they do have. And so if you're going to consistently face Rey with Ezra, you probably don't want to use this team, honestly. Hold on a sec, guys. All right, I had to cough. So this team on offense, oh, sorry, you guys can't see it. This team on offense, it can be good. It really can. But if your opponent is always putting Ezra with Rey, which I think a lot of people are going to be doing, if they're constantly doing that, then this team's value does diminish quite a bit, and putting it on defense can be fairly obnoxious, especially, you know, if your opponent doesn't have like an easy counter for it. Like Traya is a counter for it, but we're already using Traya with Lord Vader. So yeah, this team, well, it'll be interesting to see. I might end up putting it on defense for the first time ever, even though I really do love throwing rocks with Malicos. So finally, folks, I'm not suggesting you have to put Malgus on defense. If you do, probably want the tank revive Kron on the level 6, or sorry, level 3, and I mean, it's a pretty good utility squad on offense. Also fairly obnoxious on defense. So your choice. Remember, if you put this on defense, you probably just get destroyed so hard by Baylan. That's one team that Baylan just laughs. He laughs in the face of danger. Ha 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 ha. So that's it, folks. Those are all the teams. You could throw Ewoks on there if you want. I don't care, guys. What I care about is throwing myself onto the bed. So that sounded maybe a little more awkward than intended, but one way or another, folks, thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails. Take care, folks.